Yo! Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In this week's video, I'm going to give you some helpful tips on how to maintain the faders on your mixer or your controller so that they stay in really good working order. Let's talk a little about it. Hey! Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In this week's video, like I said in the beginning, I'm going to chat a little about how you can maintain and clean the faders on your controller or mixer. Before I get into it, as always, thank you to everyone who has commented, liked, and subscribed on all of my other videos. The channel has been blowing up, and I owe it all to you guys. You guys have been absolutely awesome. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notifications so that you get notified when a new video does get posted. I try to get videos added on Sundays. Sometimes, depending on my schedule, they may go up on Mondays or Tuesdays, but generally every week you can come to expect a brand new video on my channel. So definitely make sure that you are subscribing and hit that bell notification so that you know when the videos are up on the channel. So let's talk about cleaning and maintaining your gear. Over time, what ends up happening is your gear will accumulate some dust, maybe even some dirt, some grime. Just depends on how often you're using it. If you're using it in a dusty situation, a dusty venue, maybe outdoors, maybe even in a barn where there's tons of dust that gets kicked up, there's going to be cases and situations where your gear definitely does need a good cleaning. And you should be doing this anyways. I know a lot of DJs, usually in the off season, like around the winter months when there aren't as many events or weddings happening, they take the time to go through all their equipment, all their gear, sort of do an inventory of it, see if anything needs to be replaced, anything needs to be fixed, and then it's also a really good time to actually clean your gear as well so that everything looks good, it's being maintained properly, and it's ready to go whenever the busy event and wedding season kicks off in a few months. For controllers and mixers specifically, you have your faders, your Crossfader and your Upfader. And what ends up happening is that dust and that dirt and grime will actually find its way in the crevices of your faders. You'll have your let's say your Upfader all the way down, or even all the way up, or your Crossfader will be closed, which means it'll either be all the way to the left, all the way to the right. And you'll look on your software, whether it's Virtual DJ, Serato, Tractor, Rekordbox, and the fader will just kind of be almost sort of like possessed. It's doing things on its own. Or you'll go to lightly touch the fader on your mixer or your controller, and the on-screen fader in your software just goes psycho and just is all over the place. So there's two reasons for that. Usually it's because there is dirt and grime within the fader and you just need to clean it all out, or it just means that your fader is completely shot. It's destroyed and you have to replace it. If there's dirt and grime in it, which is normally, I would say, a majority of the time the problem of why your faders are not working properly, why it's causing all kinds of weird stuff to happen within the software. Usually, like I said, most of the time it's because there's dirt and dust and grime within that, and it's very easy to fix. When you do have the dirt and the dust and the grime in your faders, there's a couple different products that are out on the market that you can buy that will really help the performance of your gear. And it'll get rid of all that dirt and grime and everything that might be lodged or stuck in there. So the products that you can buy to really help things and maintain your gear are from a company called Deoxic. Now before I get into it, I am not paid, I'm not sponsored, I am not a spokesperson for this company. These are just products that I've used over the years that have really helped out and really maintained my equipment to make sure that they're working flawlessly. Now before you start using Deoxic, you want to make sure that you have a can of canned air, because you want to blow out all of the junk and dirt and dust that's lodged itself within the faders, because the last thing you want to do is leave the dirt and dust in there and then put the Deoxic on top of it, because it's just not going to help you, because the dirt and the dust is just going to be in there and you're still going to have problems. So you want to blow out as much of that stuff as you possibly can so that there is a clean surface for the Deoxic to work its magic on. The first product is the Deoxic F5, and you use this as a cleaner. It lubricates, it improves your connections, and it protects your surfaces. And this works on all plastics and metals. The next product is the D5 line. So this is just regular Deoxic D5, And I generally will use the F5 first and then the D5. And the D5 basically removes any oxidation that you might have on the contacts. It improves obviously the connection, and it also seals and protects everything as well. So that's a reason why you want to make sure you use the canned air to blow everything out, because if you have any dirt and dust and debris on your connections with the faders, then you don't want to seal that stuff in permanently or long term, because it's just going to harm your faders and it's actually going to deteriorate them a lot quicker. Okay, so let me show you how to use deoxit and how to really clean out your faders and make sure that they're in good working order. Like I said, first you're going to want to make sure that you have a can of canned air. You're going to want to blow out as much stuff and gunk as you possibly can. Most canisters do come with a nozzle that will fit in most of the fader channels. So you can kind of just go in there and just blow it all out, and you'll actually see, if you've never done it before and your gear is kind of old, I would say like if your gear is more than a year old, you'll actually be quite surprised on how much gunk gets blown out whenever you do use canned air. So once you use that and everything is pretty good, you think you've gotten most of the stuff out, then you will go and start using your deoxit. So the first is going to be the F5, and all you do is just kind of come in a little bit, put the nozzle, spray a little bit in there, and this stuff evaporates very, very quickly. So even if you get a little too excited and you put too much in, don't worry about it, because it's not like any standard liquid or anything that you might spill on your gear. It does evaporate very, very quickly. So once you spray in everything, you just want to go back and forth with your faders, make sure that all the contacts have enough of it on it. And you know, as you can see, actually there's a little bit of gunk that's coming out of it now. I think the last time I actually cleaned this particular mixer was probably about a year ago, so I think it was actually due for some maintenance. So once you have the F5 sprayed on, then you take a little bit of the D5 and you do the same thing. And that's all it takes, just a couple of quick little squirts. And then just move your faders up and down. Make sure that all the deoxit gets on all of the contacts, and that's pretty much it. After you maintain and clean your faders, you're going to start seeing performance improve. If you are having that issue where you're seeing the faders move around or jump around a lot within your software, usually after using your deoxit and blowing everything out, you'll start to see that performance has gotten a lot better. You won't see that anymore on screen, and just the overall way that your Upfaders and Crossfaders operate will just be much, much better. You should really be maintaining your gear on a regular basis, whether it's during your off season, every 6 months, every 12 months, whatever. So make sure that your gear is working properly, clean it out, blow out all the dirt, the dust, the grime, and hopefully it solves any issues that you guys might be having where the faders are just going all wonky and crazy and psychotic within the software. If you have used deoxit in the past with good results, comment below, let me know. Otherwise, if you are having problems with your faders, go out and buy it. Let me know what your results were. I'd be interested in knowing. But obviously, after you use deoxit, after you blow it all out with canned air, and you're still having problems with your faders, then I'm sorry to say, but your faders are probably shot. You're going to have to replace your Crossfader, your Upfader, or just you might need a whole new controller or mixer. You know, that's probably the worst case scenario. But let me know. Comment below. Tell me what your thoughts are. Until next time, guys, a day without dancing is a day wasted. Talk to you later.